Ryan here with Prudential Pest Solutions, and in this video, we're going to remove a giant, huge hornet's nest from the side of this building. So come take a look at the Ryan's eye view of how we treat and remove this hornet's nest. So as you can see here, this giant bald-faced hornet's nest was mounted above the rear entrance to a business, and this was here in Exton, Pennsylvania, which is in Chester County, on the outskirts of Philadelphia in Southeastern Pennsylvania. So the first thing I'm going to do is obviously I'm going to suit up, and I wear my full bee suit, which is coveralls, thick gloves, a bee veil, and my helmet, which I have my GoPro on. Now, a lot of pest companies will just come and they'll just kind of spray it and they won't even get anywhere close to it. But me, I like to get up close and personal to the nest, and that's for two reasons. One, it ensures a complete and total kill of the entire contents of that nest. And the other thing is it makes for great video, which I enjoy and I think you enjoy as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna inject that PTPI, which is an aerosolized insecticide, and it's a quick kill. And what we do is I inject that directly into the main opening. And what it does is it kills them so quick that it creates almost like a dam of dead hornets. Okay, so they're not just flying directly at me. Now, you may be surprised to find that once we remove this nest, and I'm going to show you how big it is in relation to my hand, my body, and also a picnic table, but we're going to make sure that we treat every inch of this nest on the inside. Now, you may be wondering, why are we doing this in the middle of the day? Haven't I read online that you can do this at night, or that you should do this at night when all the workers are there? Well, you can do that. But with our professional products and the way that we do our process here is that it's not necessary we can do this in the middle of the day, because what we're going to do is after we kill the nest and remove it, we're going to do a residual treatment on the outside to kill off any of the stragglers. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm just going to kind of give it a couple of seconds, and we're going to wait just till I don't hear any activity on the inside of the nest. Now that's why it's important that I use a professional grade product like PTPI made by BASF, is because number one, it works really well. It's a quick kill, which is important when you're dealing with hundreds, if not thousands, of stinging insects, but it also permeates that entire void, because what you'll see on the inside here is that there's a nest, and the nest itself is basically looks like honeycomb, but there's no honey in there. It's just larvae. All right, and it's going to be in different stacks, and then on the outside is a wood pulp covering, so to speak. And you can check out another video we have on how do hornets make their nest to see how they do it. But essentially what they're going to do is they're going to chew at wood like fences and gates and decks, and they're going to use that, mash it up, make a pulp, and make their nest. So I'm going to move a little bit closer here, and we're going to actually remove this nest. Now, they built it kind of around these floodlights that were back here. And the spraying that I'm doing now, I call that firing for effect. So it's just kind of putting a little aerosol right around that nest there, and it kind of deters the stragglers who are trying to make it back into the nest. They don't realize that their home is gone. So I'm just going to take my paint scraper here, and we're going to remove the nest, trying to keep it as intact as possible for two reasons. One, because it looks cool in our video, and two, because I want to get a sense of the size of this thing. And it's always great for our clients when they when I send them the video or the picture and says, look, this is what your building grew, and this is how we treated and removed it. So right now I'm just working on getting the nest off. Now you may think, hey, I can just scrape it and then it just comes right off. But you have to keep in mind that they build this thing so that it's securely attached to the wall. And it's not so much the paper covering of it that's mounting it on there. Actually, that's pretty flimsy. It's the actual comb on the inside that houses all their larvae and all their little ones. That's what's going to be firmly attached. So once you remove that, the paper backing of the actual nest comes off relatively easily. And you can see here that I have it on a picnic table so we can get a sense of the size. What's interesting about hornets and yellow jackets, and actually bees in general, is that once I remove that nest from the building, the hornets don't actually follow me and the nest to that picnic table where I put it down. Actually, what they do is they'll go back to that light, that area above the door. So it's always interesting to me that they don't follow the nest itself, even though that's where their queen was and that's where their pheromone is that they're going to go back to that actual building or where that nest was located. So you can see here that on the picnic table, I didn't have any flying around, but here as I'm doing the rest of the cleanup, that's where they're going to be, these few stragglers. And like I said, at the very end, we're going to do a liquid treatment so that we can kill off any of these stragglers when they do land on that product. Now, when we do the cleanup, and if you've seen any of our other, hundreds of hornet video removals that we've done, is that we can remove like 95% of the nest, right? The bulk of the nest is gone, the hornets are treated, they're dead, but there's always a little residual left on a structure. You can always tell where a bald-faced hornet's nest was in years past because there's always this little residual stuff that we honestly can't do anything about. So now the nest is removed. All right, you have a good look at my telescoping ladder there that I use. I really like the telescoping ladder because it's really easy to maneuver, it's fairly sturdy, and if it's less than 1 story, especially when I'm in my full bee suit, it's so much easier to move around and get to where I need to get to. It's also great for when I need to get into attic spaces, especially the attic spaces that are located on the inside of a closet. It's really tough bringing the big A-frame ladders in, the little giants in. So I've really been a big fan of these telescoping ladders. All my guys use them now on their vans, and it's great. And you can see here on my truck that I had a little bit of a deer incursion. That deer came across 7 lanes of highway just to be murdered by me. So I don't just kill professionally, I also apparently kill on my off time too. So what we're going to use here is I have a battery powered backpack sprayer with a liquid insecticide. And what that's going to provide us with is that residual protection. And it's also going to kill off any of these stragglers that are remaining. So that's how we treated and removed this giant bald-faced hornet's nest. If you have bees, wasps, hornets, or yellow jackets, give Prudential Pest Solutions a call or text us at 484-401-4361.